Hello, if you're seeing this video, it means you showed interest in my 2005 Dodge Sprinter van 3500. So in this video, I'm going to walk through the entire van, point out all the things that I think are wrong with it or need fixing, and then some, any stuff that might not be in the listing or might not be obvious from the pictures. So we'll just start up in the cabin of the van and we'll move from there. So the van was originally set up as a delivery van, so it has a bulkhead door, closes and locks. You have to have the key from the other side, so great for stealth camping. Taking in the front, obviously no passenger seat. There was a jump seat installed here that I took out, and I added this pedestal, and then a seat can be mounted here. If you just find a T1N Sprinter van passenger seat, can be mounted there. I'm still trying to source one. This stuff is the cup holders that go there. I just need to remount them. I had to remove the whole floor to be able to mount the seat, so that's why that's undone. By the time you check the van out, if you come check it out in person, that will be reinstalled down there. So it has an upgraded Pioneer flip out touchscreen. So we'll show you how that works. Give a little power to the van. Touchscreen comes out. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The USB port for that is right here. That's the aux input if you want to just plug an iPod or something into that. Above your head is storage, so it's pretty tight in here sitting in it, but as long as your head's not, there's the headrest, so that's, that's how far from the headrest to the roof. The check engine light is on. It's been on for a very long time. My mechanic told me not to worry about it. It has 100,444 miles. Should start right up. Everything runs fine. The other thing with the up here in the cab, let's turn that off for noise. I had an issue where my ECU, the electrical control unit, was not recognizing my keys. So this is the original ECU I sent out to Precision ECU. They sent me a new ECU that bypasses the security system, so the keys now work. So that's how I fixed that problem. The keyless entry, lock and unlock, does not work. I'm not sure if that's to do with the ECU swap or not. What else up here should I talk about? Don't really think of anything. Behind the driver's seat, collapsible ladder that will get you up onto the roof. That comes with the van. Fits nicely in there. There's a fire extinguisher, but it is expired, so you'll need to update that. So moving back to the living quarters, this is the view from the sliding door. Got a coat hook here. This is where your shore power hookups are. So right now we are running on shore power. So that wire, the shore power wire tucks in there, so you can just pull it out and hook it up to shore power whenever you need. This box here is access to the diesel heater and the batteries. Diesel heater is mounted right there. Diesel heater taps into the diesel tank in the van, so it pulls fuel right out of the diesel tank. So it's that's how that works. So the kitchen got a dual burner propane. Hey, sorry, I needed another jump cut here because I realized I did not talk about a lot of stuff with the plumbing. So you'll see when I open this under sink cabinet, there's a 5-gallon bucket in there. That is because for all 3 years I lived in the van, I did not have a gray water tank. I survived just off of my gray water going into that 5-gallon bucket. I do not suggest you do that if you're going to live in the van or travel extensively. You'll want to add a gray water tank. It was supposed to be mounted underneath the van, plumbing through the floor to attach there. That's what I would suggest you do if you do buy the van. Also, a lot of people will ask, there is no shower, there is no toilet in this van. That was just the design decision I made. I was fine with it, but if you're a female or someone who doesn't like using public toilets or going to the bathroom outside, you may want to consider composting toilet or one of those other options. But as it stands, there is no shower or toilet and no gray water tank. Propane tank is mounted there. I use the little camp ones. They're great. Mounts right there, hooks up there. Got drawers, 4 drawers of storage. 12-volt truck fridge. It works, everything's good to go. We've got running water, no hot water, only cold. Storage up here, sliding. Oh, and these panels and the wall panels are bamboo. So that's what all the wall panels throughout the van are bamboo panels. Here's the storage area I was talking about from underneath the drivers. This gives you a lot of storage. If you do want to take this out, it's just mounted to the bulkhead wall, so easily could come out. This was ski storage that I put, so you could put a set of skis in there, and then bungee cord them around here. Skis go in there nicely. Here's the damage from the water leak that happened. So the fan was leaking around the seal, and it caused this water damage. So luckily the roof is split into panels, so underneath these strips are where the panels seam meets, so you can just replace this one panel and you should be good to go. What else? This is where I had my computer mounted, and then I had the dual monitor mounts there. All the HDMI, DVI power is already routed behind the wall, so if you did want to add a computer setup, you could do that here. Sorry for another cut, more stuff I forgot. First, under all of the bench seating around the dining table, that has access to the storage. The same storage that you can see from the rear of the van. There are pop tops where you can open it from underneath the seat cushions to get into your storage without having to leave your van and go around to the back or whatever. Second, the entire van is spray foam insulated. So the same spray foam they use in houses, closed cell spray foam. It's a really high R value. The van does great in cold weather. I lived in it for almost a full year in the Colorado Rockies, and never froze to death. Felt great. So with the diesel heater and the spray foam, you're good on cold weather environments. Also, in the driver's cabin, there is sound deadening material on the floors and the doors. That is because the van, when it's empty, is very loud to drive. So that was one of the first things I did. I'm going to be honest with you, it's still pretty loud when the van's empty. If you have a bunch of stuff back there, the sound doesn't resonate as much, so it's not as bad. Also, if you close the bulkhead door, the sound is not as bad. But that's what I put in there, and since I did that effort, thought I'd mention it. All right, back to the video. So this is the dining room table up. It pushes down and lays flat, and then these side cushions go on top to make a huge bed. One of the cushions is in the house. It goes along the back wall, but it just looks like these. Over here is the electrical section. This is kind of like my little fun little playground. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 active switches. You have 4 breakers that have nothing wired to them right now, but they are wired up to the fuse panel. So if you wanted to add more lights or whatever you want, you could do that. The Webasto diesel heater control is there. This is a Blue Seas M2 system monitoring device. It gives you the voltage of the batteries, the amps going in, the percentage charge. Down here is the Ames Power inverter charger. So this is what takes the 12 volts in the battery and ups it up to 120. There are 120 volts around wired around the van. There's one here. There's one in the back corner, and there are, where are the other ones? I don't remember where the other ones are, but there are a few, oh, here's another one there. A few 120 volt outlets around the van. So that is all controlled through here, and this is also what allows you to hook up to shore power. It is a, I believe a 2000 watt sine inverter, so very, very high end inverter charger. This is the Outback Solar 80 amp charge controller. It is what takes the voltage from the solar panels and gets it down to 12 volts so that we can charge the batteries. So underneath this panel here is the electrical wiring. So we have 3 250 amp hour batteries, 1, 2, and 3 down there. They're all wired in Is it series or parallel? I can't remember. But here's your low voltage fuse panel here. So all your lights and your refrigerator run off that fuse panel. These huge fuses are to protect all the small stuff from the battery massive voltage. Your solar comes in here. This is hard to talk about all this stuff while on the fly. But if you have any more questions about the electrical, I designed and built it all myself, so I can answer that. Now, one huge negative that I found out this weekend, the batteries are done. They will not hold a charge. I took it on a trip this weekend to test the whole van before selling it, and they were sitting so long at 0% charge that they will no longer hold a charge. So you will need to replace or recondition. These are AGM glass mat lead acid batteries, so they can be reconditioned. I'm not sure if these will be able to recondition and take a charge. Your best bet would probably be replacing the 3 batteries. So what else? So you got storage up here, bamboo sliding things. There are more of these. They're right here. So just more dividers. So if you want to like separate your storage area, you can do that. You can add more dividers, take away dividers, decide what you want stored where, etc. These right here are surfboard storage. So there is a set just like this in the back of the van, so a surfboard can slide up underneath. You just undo the cord from this cleat, and then it drops down. You can lower your surfboard down and take it out. This table was custom made by a buddy of mine named Seth McCannon. He's a great woodworker, and he made this live edge table. We added some inlays. Where is it? There is a crack somewhere in the table. Oh yeah, this inlay cracked a little bit, but it doesn't affect the functionality. It's just a visual thing. What else? So as far as the outside of the van goes, you got your 3 solar panels, 330 watts per panel. These are industrial size and industrial strength panels. You got 1,000 watts total up there. This happened because I had a loose screw on the inside of the door, opened the door, and it scraped down the side. So that's a blemish. Down to the back of the van, do have some rust on the back doors. So I don't think it's a problem. It's not getting to a point where the doors don't seal, but maybe think about replacing the doors. I'm not sure. This is an aftermarket trailer hitch. It is mounted directly to the frame. I installed it myself. I had a bike rack on here with a couple bikes on it. I believe you can tow up to 10,000 pounds gross trailer weight, so it's pretty hefty mount. So with the back doors open, you can see the storage area we have here. 3 different sections. This is the 22-gallon fresh water tank. You got an exterior spigot here, your fill right here, and then a drain valve here. Yeah, you got 120 volt and 12 volt accessible back here at the rear. So what else? Oh yeah, this side of the van, I was going through a one of those security things that comes down, and it came down too quick, hit the side of the van. So that's what that mark is from. What else? Oh yeah, one more thing about the gas gauge. Oops, I locked that. So the gas gauge works about 90% of the time, and your gas level, it will measure here. About 10% of the time, usually in wet weather, I think, maybe. I don't know, I'm just guessing here. The gas gauge will just read empty. So what I usually do is I hit the trip meter every time I fill up my gas. That way, if this gauge ever fails temporarily, then I can at least kind of have a judge of how much fuel I've used. But most of the time, the gas gauge works fine. Anything else? Oh yeah, and I have a carbon monoxide. It's like one of those multi-unit. Yeah, it does propane and carbon monoxide. sensor down here to monitor in case, you know, there's fumes or whatever getting in the van. You'll know before it raises up to a level where it can hurt you. Yeah, so that's kind of it for the van tour. Can't really think of anything else. If you have any questions, hit me up. And otherwise, I'm looking ready to start some showings. If anyone wants to come check out the van, let me know. Bye. I realized when I was editing the video, I never opened the closet. So here's the closet. You've got shirt storage here. This gives you access to all the back of the electrical panels. So you can see how the Outback Power solar charger is mounted. The Webasto heater into, you know, all your lights are labeled and everything there. This is the sine wave converter, Ames Power, that does the shore power and then charges the batteries from there as well. Got a little bit more storage up here. This right here is the intake for the heater. So it pulls in the air from here and it spits the hot air out down here. So that is the closet, and I think that might be everything I forgot, but I don't know, who knows.